I've been covering a lot of Dave Ramsey lately, and so I've been having conversations with one of their financial people, gurus, whatever. I want to show you guys this conversation that I've had with them. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up real fast, and we're gonna go through this. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see, how do we pop this bad boy out? Here we go. Okay. So, in a nutshell, what I did was I reached out to Dave Ramsey's staff and support, and I just asked him some questions. And here's what we got. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull this up. All right. So this is a conversation with a gal by the name of Jessica. Okay. You see here, here's my original message. It was just, hello, I am looking to have a conversation with Dave or one of his best advisors about annuities. And here's what I got back from Jessica with Ramsey Solutions. If you look, it says that Jessica is a concierge advisor. Okay, whatever the heck that means. She says, thank you so much for reaching out. My name is Jessica. I'm a customer success agent. Don't know what that is. Made up title, which is fine. I'm helping out our concierge team, and I wanted to connect with you regarding your inquiry. Okay. We always recommend, we always recommend investing in mutual funds. Always is never a good thing whenever you say that. Not annuities. We always recommend investing in mutual funds, not annuities. Got it. Always. That is direct advice, by the way. Okay. The only exception would be a variable annuity. What? So you always recommend mutual funds, but when you do recommend annuities, it's the variable kind. That's interesting. Well, why don't they like annuities? Well, Dave has went on and he said that because they're full of fees. Okay, hold on a second. So you're always going to recommend mutual funds, not annuities. When you do recommend annuities, it's variable. Wait a minute. Variables have the highest fees by far of any other type of annuity. Okay. I keep going on here. Still would like to, what I said was, could I set up a call with that recommendation is made as a blanket statement. Said, thank you for reaching out. I'm actually going to scroll through this until this last one. I basically said, well, you just gave direct advice and absolute statements, so I'm confused. And here's what she said. I completely understand how this can be confusing. Individual financial circumstances are often unique and require more expertise than customer support can provide. The last thing we want to do is give misinformation, yada, yada, yada. Clearly says she's not licensed to do so. That being said, our team has written an incredible article. Man, incredible article, huh? Let's go talk about this incredible article that they have written. Okay, go ahead and share my screen here. Let's check this incredible article out. Okay, what is an annuity and how does it work? Let me just go through some of this stuff with you guys because I think it's super important to break down. This is something that they're actively showing potentially millions of people across the world, okay, or the United States. So we go through this. What is an annuity? An annuity is basically a contract between you and the insurance company, which is true. It's designed to provide a guaranteed income for the rest of your life, which is not true. There are annuities that do not give you income for the rest of your life. I'm sorry. There are annuities that do other things, but we'll keep going. You make a payment or payments to the insurance company in return. They promise to grow your money. Not true. Annuity companies do not promise to grow your money. They promise to give you income. If it's an income annuity, they're contractually obligated to give you whatever that contractual obligation you purchased was. Okay. If it's a fixed annuity, then yes. If it's an income annuity, then no. Okay. Ultimate goal for the annuity is to give you steady stream of income, which I would say is true for most annuities. All right. I'm going to scroll down here. They say a few things along the lines of, insurance companies sell on fear. I think that it can be true, but let's just go through that. So they talk about how do annuities work real quick, and one that I wanted to point out here, okay, is when they start to get into types of annuities. So by the way, let me just show you this article. Here's the date on it, August 4th, 2023. Okay. A fixed annuity, I'm going to talk about a MIGA. It's a type of fixed annuity. Okay. Multi-year guarantee annuity is basically savings accounts with an insurance company. Not necessarily true, but we'll go with it because it's tax deferred money. They're like certificate of deposits. That's similar, but again, CDs are not tax deferred. They come with guaranteed interest rates currently less than 5%. Currently less than 5%. And that's super attractive for people who want predictable and safe place for their money. Currently less than 5%. Interest rates in annuities have been over 5% for a very long time. Okay. Months and months and months. Let's keep going. Okay. So, and he says, we'll get into the downside later, but we'll just tell you right now, annuities aren't worth your time. The low rate of return won't even keep up with inflation. Interesting, because the S&P 500 returned, what, less than 6% with a 1% advisor fee on it since 2000. Man, if I would have had a 5 or 4 or 3% fixed rate of return with no sequence to it, I would have destroyed the market, just letting you know. And this, go show me a portfolio, Dave, that has averaged 10 to 12% over the last 20 years. I will give you $1 million. Okay. If you can show me an average portfolio that's averaged over that or within that consistently. I'm not talking about just don't give me one. I'm talking about this is like a standard for him. He's saying this is a standard. Okay, go show me all these portfolios that have done that. I'm not talking about one. I'm talking like the average. Because you know what the averages we see? Like less than 7, less than 8. Okay. And that's what the sequence to it. What they're not talking to you guys about here is there's no sequence to this. It's just 10 to 12%. Well, we know that if I put a sequence to something, it's totally, totally different. Okay. So to give you an example, all right, I'm going to give you guys a quick example. I'm going to show you what a sequential portfolio looks like. Okay. So here is a sequential portfolio of 19.81%. Okay. What does that mean? It's got down years to it. It's got up years. Okay. Crazy. Now let's change this for a second. And we're assuming no withdrawals. This 100,000 between 2000 and 2023, this was an actual back tested portfolio, by the way, would yield 2.8 million. Okay. We could pick different. We could pick an 8% portfolio. Here's an 8%. Put $100,000 in. Okay. Make this bigger for y'all so you can see it. Okay. Here's an 8% portfolio with $1 million. 7.95. Let me show you what this looks like. So this is called a sequential return, meaning that it has up, it has downs, it has ups, it has down, but it averages 7.95. So that means that from 2000 to 2023, this portfolio, well, quadrupled. Let me show you what it looks like when I put 7.95% in there. Whoa, hold on a second. I am $2 million more, even though it's the same average. Why is that? Because you have no sequence to it. That's why you can have a portfolio that's averaging less and actually make more money. Look at that. A 6% portfolio, you're almost right there. That's a 2% difference less. Okay. So when you have no zero or when you have a consistent rate of return, it's way stronger. Depending on how many dips you have, it's way stronger than a sequential rate. Okay. So he's talking about 10 to 12% with what kind of volatility? What if you're taking money out? It just blows my mind. Variable annuities, on the other hand, are a bit different. They're basically mutual funds stuffed inside of an annuity. So unlike fixed annuities, your payment in retirement will depend on how well the mutual fund you choose performs. Not true. There are variable annuities out there that have guaranteed income roll-up rates, just like other annuities that are not performance-based. Now, a lot of them are, but not all of them. Speaking in absolutes again here, and you can dive into that. Wouldn't take that much more in this article to dive into it. Okay. With a variable annuity, the account grows tax-free or tax-deferred. I'm sorry. That means you'll have to pay income taxes on whatever growth the annuity makes when you start taking money out of retirement. We'll talk about that more later. Okay. So what are the benefits? When it comes to a fixed annuity, there are no benefits. When it comes to a fixed annuity, there are no benefits. How can you say that statement? How can you say there are no benefits to something that we clearly can show you on paper has a ton of benefits to it, right? A fixed rate of return with no sequence to it. You're saying there's no benefit to that, right? Especially rates today that are upwards of 6%. Okay. So no benefits, tax deferral. A lot of these have income riders on them. What do you mean no benefits? There's never ever a case where fixed annuities are the best option. Yeah, not for your whole portfolio. Now, there are some benefits to having a variable annuity. Okay, here we go. Though they don't outweigh the cons. For starters, you can choose a beneficiary for your annuity so the payments you were getting can go to the loved ones when you die. You can do the same thing in a fixed annuity, Dave. The exact same thing. Okay. Some variable annuities even offer a guarantee on your principal investment. So basically, when you put in 200,000 into an annuity, the value of the investment drops below that. You still get, yes, that is true, but that comes with a fee. And as soon as your 200,000 goes down to zero, you void that. And it is a very specific benefit, but it is a nice one, I will say. But pros to cons. And unlike any 401k or an IRA, annuities don't have yearly contribution limits, so you can put as much money in, which is true. Okay, not so bad, right? Pump the brakes. There's a reason why so many people may who look into an annuity stop dead in their tracks, blah, blah, blah. What are the downsides? All right, let's talk about these because I'm all about downsides. Annuities have way too many fees. Hold on. Let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about those fees he's talking about. If you want to know, here are just some of the types of fees and charges that you'll see. Okay, so fees and charges. This is not a fee. It doesn't come out of the account like an advisor fee would. This is not a fee. It does not come out of the account, okay, paid by the insurance company. Insurance charges, okay, these can be considered fees for like rider. Okay, wait, he has insurance charges, he has rider charges. Sure, these might show up as mortality and expense. Okay, so that's only on a variable annuity. Okay, insurance charges, I would consider that a fee category because it would come up all the time. Rider charges, consider that a fee. Investment management fee. Okay, so we're talking variable annuity. I'm sorry. Variable and fixed if the fixed annuity has a rider, which we're talking about. Okay. Variable annuity. Every annuity, but is only a charge if you take the money out beforehand, before it's up, which you can get annuities as low surrenders as 2 years. Okay. 1 year, 2 years, which is not a big deal. Okay. So he says, you see what we mean. No, Dave, I don't see what you mean because we just talk about a fixed annuity. All these ones that I just showed you, none of these have fees. There's no fee in it. Okay. There's no fee on the account at all. You'll see the fee on here when we look at the brochures, when you look at illustrations, they'll show you the fee. They have to show you the fee. There's no fees on those ones. Also, you can get indexed accounts, with no fees as well. Okay. So he's talking in absolutes, which just are not applicable to all annuities. Annuities probably won't keep up with inflation. I'm pretty sure study after study after study after study has shown that they have actually. And it depends on what type of annuity you're talking about, Dave. If you're talking about a fixed rate of 5 or 6% over the next 5 years, let's talk about what inflation is on average. So we're not talking about the 1 year or the 2 year, right? We're talking about average. The average inflation is what, less than 3%? And I'm showing you fixed rates of return at 5 or 6. So we know that's false. Annuities are very hard to transfer. It's not true. We transfer annuities all the time. All the time we transfer out of accounts. You just have to not be an idiot. You have to know what you're doing. Annuities are confusing. Yes, annuities are definitely confusing. I will say that. For having annuities such as, index annuities or variable annuities, just the complexities inside of them, they are confusing, but you can articulate those points across to people. So it's not that confusing when you really dive into it, right? And he talks about pros and cons, right? So pros, steady stream of monthly income in an income annuity, no contribution limits, which is true. Death benefits offered with some variable. Death benefits are offered in every annuity. Your account value is your death benefit. Why are you knocking? Why are you saying that if it doesn't have a death benefit, that means it's a con? What's your death benefit on a mutual fund? It's whatever your mutual fund is worth, right? Right. And you're not comparing equities to mutual funds here, by the way. The whole point of an annuity is that it's giving your portfolio freedom. Let me show you guys a little something that will hopefully pique your interest. Okay. So here is my, I'm gonna use my 8% here. Okay. Here's my 8% portfolio. I'm gonna go back to, okay, here's my sequential 8%. I got $1 million in here, okay, over the next 23 years. What if I want to start drawing, I don't know, let's call it 40. Hold on, let me do my math in my head here. Okay. Let's call it 40,000 bucks. I want to start drawing $40,000 a year. Okay. Well, I drew 40 grand a year, and it obviously affected my portfolio significantly. Why? Because income does that in retirement. It's not buy and hold anymore. How much should I actually take out over those years? Let's look formulas. I took out 960,000. So me taking $960,000 out basically, and we're looking at portfolio end value here, cost me a lot of money, right? Portfolio 1, 2, cost me like $2 million, taking 960,000 out. Cost me $2 million. Well, here's what's interesting about an annuity is that I can solve that income need with an income annuity for the rest of my life with about 500,000, roughly. Okay. So what does that mean? Okay, well, let's pretend you put 500 in an annuity now. So that means you only have another 500 sitting in the market. Because I was able to solve that income need, right? I was able to leave this one alone because that was taking, was that taking 4% of your portfolio? You're using the 4% rule. We can solve that with about half. That means you could use your other 500,000 towards the market, not have to touch it, use the buy and hold that you're used to. If you wanted to grow wealth over time, you don't have to handicap it with income. So now check out what your account value is ending at. Okay. So 2.1 million on a $500,000 account versus having to remember the other 500's in the annuity versus 1.3 million. Because when you start taking income out of something, you have to worry about the sequence. So to give you guys a good example here, right? We had 2 years here where the market was in this portfolio was low. 13% loss, 23% loss. This isn't the actual S&P return, by the way. This is just a portfolio that we used the S&P and then altered it to get a 7.8% average. Okay. We wanted to see a higher average. So whenever you have these losses, then you're taking that $40,000 out. And this isn't adjusted for inflation either. This isn't really the 4% rule. The 4% rule is increasing that with inflation. We're just using a flat 40. So it'll further enhance this in a negative way. So every time we have these losses, and that comes out of your account, plus you're taking 40,000 out, it puts you in a hole. And every time it puts you in a hole, you have to dig yourself out of that hole. Okay. So with all that being said, I hope that makes sense. So be careful at who you are getting your information from, because it's not always somebody who's going to have your best interest at heart. Now, the other side of that is talking to somebody who only does annuities, right? You have to be careful there because a lot of them just want to sell you an annuity. So it's definitely making sure that you're getting the facts, like what are the actual facts, and then so you can make that informed decision. All right. Hope that helps. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. Feel free to reach out to our office, Up North Retirement. Reach us at 855-646-6784. You can email me at Tracy, Tracy, at upnorthretirement.com. God bless. Have a fantastic day.